Check out the softness of these new hoodies. You guys have to feel it. It slides like silk, but it's 100% or 50% cotton and 50% polyester, so you're getting that really soft feel from the cotton that's just super comfortable and warm. But then you're actually getting the firmness of the polyester that makes it heavier, and it gives it that cool, bulky, fitted look. I'm a huge believer in living life strong. Like I said, that's the theme. It has NWB Strong running down the sleeve. So you guys want new NWB hoodies? Here they are. The first of a few, very limited, but these are really nice. Get these hoodies now on the website in the info box below. nwblifestyle.com. We ship to all countries. I want you to show off what you are. What's up, family? It's Nick Wright, Nick Wright Bodybuilding. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Check it out. On my Twitter, which is @NickWrightNWB, I opened up a live Q&A thread. Basically just told you all to ask me anything. I told you guys I was going to answer it. So that's what I'm going to do. I have the computer open here, and I'm going to go down the list and answer them in order. What do you feel is your biggest accomplishment thus far? My biggest accomplishment is based all on what I'm considering success. So, for example, if you're talking about my biggest accomplishment as a YouTuber, it would probably be collaborating with Scott Herman. I remember the first time I got to collaborate with Scott Herman Fitness. It was the biggest deal because I had been a fan of Scott forever. I had messaged him forever about working with him, and I finally got a chance to do it. And this was back in the summer of 2011, before YouTube collaborations were a regular thing. Nowadays, collabs happen all the time with everybody, so it wouldn't be as big of a deal. But at this time, it was before YouTubers really collaborated together in the fitness industry. And I remember it was an awesome thing. Like, it was mind-blowing. I related it to like the time Lil Wayne got hit up by Jay-Z. Corny little analogy, but that's what I felt like. If you're talking about my biggest achievement success-wise as a brand, like as NWB, definitely getting contacted by Converse and being shown support by Converse. That was mind-blowing and probably one of the coolest things that's ever happened in my career. Because getting contacted by fitness companies and sponsored by different fitness companies is cool enough as it is. And I'm grateful for all of my sponsors. But then getting contacted and recognized by a mainstream international 100-year-old legendary sneaker company is beyond amazing. I mean, and it's a sneaker company that's used by everybody from rappers to athletes to skaters, you name it. Converse is Converse. So getting recognized and supported by Converse is probably one of the coolest things that ever happened to me. But I mean, there's been a million things. Getting on TV twice, having PBS follow me around my house, getting the first cover of a magazine was amazing, especially being the first drug-tested teen. Even little things that are more successful personally to me, like having the Providence Journal, which is the biggest newspaper in Rhode Island, follow me around for a day was awesome. So, you know, and then obviously on a more personal level, being able to compete and build my physique up, doing the natural Team Mr. Olympia, and then of course having 80,000 of you guys behind me is I'm speechless. So what my greatest achievement and success was is all based on what I'm looking at and considering success based on the time you ask it. Barbell or dumbbell bench, all variations. That's going to be much more subjective to you. Some people respond very well off of the barbell. Some people respond better off of dumbbells. I will say overall, dumbbells may be better just because they are using more stabilization muscles. So you're going to gain more strength overall, which is why dumbbells are also more challenging. And because they allow each arm to travel in their own range of motion, you're going to be able to get a better contraction in the pecs, whereas your hands are fixed on one position of the barbell. You're only going to be able to get as much contraction as from here to here allows you, whereas the dumbbells you can bring it in. So possibly dumbbells, but again, some people do get better results from a barbell, so it's all subjective. You got to figure out which one you prefer. When will you be too big and start leaning out? I don't plan on being too big ever. If you mean when do I get too fat and want to start cutting weight, I don't want to let that happen either, which is why I've actually been bringing my calories down this offseason to kind of maintain. I don't want to get any more body fat on me than what I have right now. I don't want to get any more fluffy. However, I do want to continue to gain lean mass. So my body fat's going to remain the same, and I'm just going to continue slowly gaining the lean mass. And then I'll begin cutting basically just whenever I find a show. Whenever I decide I want to compete again and I find a show, then I'll start cutting. And I'll plan accordingly, obviously, and time it to the show. Now that you're getting back into competition side of bodybuilding, you gonna juice? No, I don't plan on juicing. I know everyone wants to see me juice. I'm not gonna juice though, because me personally, the way I look at it, I don't want to rely on how much money I want to inject into myself. All right, I want my gains to be how hard I work in the gym and then how on point my eating is. That's it. I want it to be what I was born with. I don't want to have to rely on going and spending more freaking money in this godforsaken sport and then injecting it in myself and having that be the gains. And then the second I stop injecting it, watching myself shrink down, even though I'm still working and eating just as hard as I was, that's going to drive me crazy. So I'm planning on staying natural. I just want to build whatever I was born with, and then I plan on getting my natural pro card in the IFPA or the WNBF. Ass to grass and squatting. I need tips on how to get lower, bro. That could be a number of things. I'd have to see you, your body, and your squat. Try getting your feet maybe a little bit wider, and you want to really allow yourself to sink into your hips. Too many people will go down in a squat, and they just kind of stop themselves, keeping their legs and their hips right underneath their body because it feels safer and sturdier. You need to gain that confidence in your strength and allow yourself to open your hips up and sink your body into it like a basket. You may also need to put leverage underneath your heels, perhaps 5-pound weights underneath your heels for more flexibility in the ankles. Again, I would have to really see you squatting to be able to determine that. Talk more about nutrition. A lot of us don't know the proper ways of eating while we're cutting up or bulking. Well, that's going to be in a lot of my videos. Honestly, anything you have a question on, you can 9 out of 10 times just YouTube search your question and then put my name next to it, and I guarantee I'll have a video on it. And if I don't, I probably will soon. Deadlift and squat. Shoe and belt recommendations for each. Well, I know Bob Arcan from Olympus Iron just got the new Adidas Adi Powers, and he says they're pretty good. They have a nice elevated heel on them. Nike makes a weightlifting shoe as well. Basically, any professional weightlifting shoe, and you'll see it's designated as a weightlifting shoe. It has a solid heel underneath it. It's going to be good for squatting. For deadlifts, dude, either Converse Chucks is what I'm using, or just go bare feet. Honestly, deadlifting in socks is when I've always got my best pulls. That's all you need. What is your favorite pre-workout? My favorite pre-workout overall, I believe, is still N0 Extreme by Cellucor. However, lately I've been using C4 a lot. I use 2 scoops of C4 because it's a little bit on the lighter side, stimulant-wise, which is good for me. I don't get too jittery for it, and it gives me just the right feeling because I'm very, very in tune to stimulants and how they affect my body. Another great pre-workout is GAT, or it's made by GAT, and it's called Nitroflex by GAT. Nitroflex is amazing. I only use maybe a half a scoop of that because that stuff's strong. It's what I'm on right now, actually, and it lasts a long time. Those are probably my best recommendations. And anything Cellucor, guys, like the N0 and the C4, you can actually use NWB as your discount code and get 20% off of it and free shipping if you buy it off of Cellucor.com. What is your most impressive PR? Probably bench pressing. I can get 345, and honestly, I want to try to push 365 out soon. That's probably my best one only because benching was such a weak point for me. It took me 2 years to even get my bench press up to 135 after I started training. So for me to have a strong press, for me, is impressive. My deadlift is pretty good. I got about 510 on deadlift at 173 pounds body weight, and then obviously my rows are always good. 315 bent barbell row for 12, and T-bar rowed something like 7-8 plates. And then I've dumbbell rowed the 160s for a set. So, what kind of advice can you give someone who's trying to market themselves the same way you have in bodybuilding and business? Dude, you need to be creative. You need to stop looking at it as how to market yourself. Because if you're going into this with the ambition to get famous off of it or make money off of it, you're going to flop. You're absolutely going to flop. That's like trying to say you're going to start making an album with the hopes of just getting famous off of it. Like, you're going to flop. My best videos come from when I stop paying attention to everybody around me and I stop looking at the criticism of the other YouTubers, and I go back into my own head and I find my passion for raw bodybuilding, and I just share my passion for raw bodybuilding again. And then I add creativity, my own real creativity to the video without worrying about what anybody else is going to think. And that's what my best videos come about. So that's what you have to do. You have to really be passionate and creative about a specific goal you have personally. And then that passion will 9 out of 10 times create something good that people are going to actually want to watch and catch on to. That's it. Other than that, don't do annoying shit like hitting up people and asking them to do share for share if you have like 2 subscribers and they have like 1 million. Don't ask people for shout-outs. Don't ask people for free hits. Don't tag everybody on Facebook. Those are all BS, annoying-ass moves that are going to get you hated. But that's my thing, passion. What's it like being so cool? Well, I don't know. I'm pretty freaking hot right now. I just did legs, and I think the heat's on in this house, so I'm dying. I'll let you know if I ever become cool again. What kind of advice can you give someone who is trying to market? I just read that. Decide between iron and girlfriend. Which would you choose? Enjoy explaining that one. Actually, I'm really glad you asked this one, Edward Kennedy. I've learned over the years of bodybuilding, I've been doing this for 7-8 years now, and I've learned how to finally balance out having a bodybuilding career / hobby and a girlfriend. And let me tell you, it's not easy at all. In fact, those of you who are newer into competing, only been doing it for 2, 3, 4 years, I can pretty safely say, unless you have just a rare 1 out of a million girlfriend, you're most likely going to lose your relationship if you want to get into competing regularly, because it's a very self-indulged sport. So what I recommend to you guys is try to keep your bodybuilding and your relationship as separate as you can. Don't talk about it much around your girlfriend, because you know you're going to end up talking about it a lot, especially if you do a show, and she's going to get tired of hearing about you all the time. So don't talk about it. Also, girls don't want to hear a meathead conversation all the time. They want to constantly hear about how much you bench press in the gym or how much weight you're gaining, this and that. Girls may care a little bit if they're supportive, but they're not going to care a lot. So keep the bodybuilding talk for you and your bodybuilding friends, and then keep your relationship over here with your relationship. Secondly, don't constantly be in her face with your physique. So if you're getting ready for a show, try to keep the posing on your own time when you're not hanging out with her. Because I made this mistake too. It's very, you don't think twice about it. You're getting changed. There's a mirror right there. She may be chilling on the bed or whatever. And you're just like, ooh, lat spread. Ooh, abs is starting to come in. And all you're doing is just checking your condition. But she's just going to see it as you checking yourself out. Even if she understands, it's going to end up building up like that. I guarantee you that. So keep your relationship in bodybuilding as separate as you can. You need to be very catering to her. Let her time be her time, and then let your bodybuilding time be your bodybuilding time. Try not to let the two interact at all, and try not to sacrifice any of her time for your bodybuilding this. Again, it's a tight balance. You got to really be on top of it.